Trios Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I said another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yeah. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother smack addict. Bye. 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 All it is, you can tell by that thumbnail right there, or you don't even know what it's about. Gamed up, homeboy, one time for your mind. I got gamed up, right? There's a reason in a menudo style, in a direct fashion, I only talk about certain things on YouTube. Now, I know a lot of people take the liberties to speak on a lot of issues behind the walls. They take the liberties to talk about politics, or they just talk about a lot of things they shouldn't. Okay, I was gamed up. I was laced up differently. Having been to prison from the juvenile system all the way incarcerated to the upper levels of the upper echelon of the upper whatever it is, right? Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. You already know what it is. My antennas were up enough to understand there's certain things you can and cannot talk about. Now, I'm not going to add preservatives or sugarcoat anything in this video. I'm going to give you guys the righteous game and the reasons why I do what I does, cuz. Now, guard! Shut the hell up when I talk. And like that. We getting it like that. Now, trip out. When I first started YouTube, you know, I was young in the game. Now, it didn't mean I was a young man, but I was young in the YouTube game. I wasn't quite understanding, you know, the ins and outs and the intricacies and the details of content. I didn't understand there's certain things you can and can't speak on because we live in a real world. Okay, we live in a world where at the end of the day, when the camera goes off, you need to lay your head somewhere. You need to walk the guys. I need to go to Winco Foods to go buy my carne, right? That's just the way it is. You know, you're not going to be shut up inside a trailer or a house or a room or anything, you know, all locked in a basement or an attic. That's not the way the world works. You have to breathe a little, right? You have to wiggle. Me, myself, I like to hit the club, the casino one time for my mentality. I like to go places. And I have children, and children like to go places, so I need to be able to take them. But I have the understanding that once you become semi-famous or whatever you want to call it, I hate to use words like I'm famous or I got fans. I don't like to, I'm just like anyone else. But when you become recognizable because of YouTube and because what you speak on in YouTube, it's a dangerous game. It's a gamble. I did 7-Eleven, right? It's upsetting if you come up short. You got to keep eyes in the back of your head now. Because people will recognize you. And some people recognize you. Hey, South Game, trip out. Hey, that's that fool gun right there in YouTube. Hey, can I get a picture, eh? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And then there's some others are like, hey, look at this, that fool right there, eh? You know, let me show him how to do it just now. Right? Either way, you don't know who poses a threat. So that might make you jump the gun on something, pull it allegedly. And next thing you know, you're locked up with them same vaults you were talking about in there. Bang, bang. It's just that simple and that easy. You never know what the day brings or what it entails. One thing I do know for sure, and this is facts, there's things that people, myself and others, shouldn't be speaking on. Now, I told the line. Okay, I told a very thin line. I know who to talk about and who not to talk about. But I'm not going to even make excuses when I say in the beginning of my career as a YouTuber, I did make some bad, wrong decisions. You know, I did talk about things I shouldn't have. You know, and I'm gamed up enough to understand that. And respectfully, I say, my bad. You know, I didn't understand exactly what was going on. I just thought YouTube was like, hey, just a few people, we're going to get on here. Hey, ba-da-ba. But it's not like that. This goes to the whole world. This is public. This is the acknowledgement of everyone. Everybody watches us. You'll have 300-400 people in your life, or at least I will. And only 20 of them are talking. The rest are just watching. All eyes on me. Orderly pot, right? They're getting down like that. Now, the do's and don'ts of YouTube and what you don't talk about is very simple. It's literally up to you. There's some people that take liberties with things. They'll talk about whatever. Whatever can get views, whatever they want to. Hey, and that's that man. If that man feels comfortable with speaking on certain situations behind those walls or about organizations and groups and people that don't even exist, that's up to them. That's them. Myself, I try to keep it respectful because I've been told as a youngster to an old man a long time ago, keep your mouth shut. Don't say too much. It won't be too much. Don't start no funk, won't be no funk, right? I learned that a long time ago. See my tios and righteous homeboys from Sanjo, Salas, Fresno, San Fran, Oakland, Merced, Westside, laced me up. Okay, they gave me the proper game. And one thing I knew for sure was Norteños did not speak on camera. Norteños didn't acknowledge dropouts. Norteños, they didn't even exist. That's it. You know, I remember Vatos used to be, when I was active and I was functioning, they'd be like, hey, what about YouTube? What you boob tube? You know what I mean? Here, I seen that when we hear, now you have boob tubes. No, YouTube. I said, I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I got a tube. You know what I mean? Do you? You know what I mean? There it is. You and I got a tube. Put them together, YouTube, right? They're like, nah, social media, hey, you can go on there, you can just say whatever you want. I said, no, you can't say whatever you want. Because people listen, and they're waiting and plotting and scheming for you to say the wrong thing, and they're going to take it as disrespect. So as influencers, bloggers, whatever you choose to be, you can't just say anything when it comes to prisons. Pensa la tira, con permiso, a la tira. You got to understand, when you're giving up too much game on how things get brought into facilities, on who's, when's, where's, why's, and what, the 5 W's, when you're giving up too much game on household policies, on rules and reglas and things of that nature, workout routines and maquinas and things of that nature, you're invading someone's privacy. There's vatos that still live by that standard of living. Okay, behind them prison walls, there is a lot going on. That's common sense. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But all these certain channels and these YouTube channels and everyone's speaking on what's going on and the rules and regulations and they're saying what your chest was, spitting everywhere and hooping and all that, is giving up too much game. Game that shouldn't be told nor sold. Should be just shut the hell up. Period. I try not to do that. You know, when I tell a story, it's my story. When I tell a story, it's because I've been there, I've done, that's what I've been through. And I'm not going to lie, a lot of the things I gloss over or I can't speak on certain names, I change certain names and certain elements and certain times and dates, and that's not because, I'm lying or because I'm firing it up or I'm putting too much crema on the tacos. It has nothing to do with that. It's because I know enough not to hinder someone else's integrity and someone else's, I keep it respectful, Holmes. It's what you're supposed to do. Now, there's been times where I've dropped videos. People ask me, hey, can you talk about this guy or can you talk about this group or you can talk about that? And I told the line very close, and I do, and I've been got at a couple times. By who? One never knows, does one. But certain people have got at me like, hey, this is this, the homeboy still got a this, and he's got a that going on. Is there any way you can remove that from this? Done. Read between them lines. Let's say that 3 times fast, right? Órale, la primera lives. And that was just it. Because I'm of the understanding and I have so much respect for what people, the hardships they're going through, the struggle. See, you don't know struggle till you've been through struggle. See, you don't know about using a toilet paper roll for a motherfucking pillow. Okay, you don't know about concrete slabs and concrete floors. You people don't know about that until they've been there. Then you understand the reasonings why the Chicano, the Mexicanos, the raza do what they does. The brothers do what they sprinkle in the woods. The reason they do what they do. See, everybody has their own element. Everyone has their own people, and everyone has their own standard of living. And to each their own. When people that are on the outside looking in speak on it, you're bringing shine where there should be none. You're hindering the process and you're eliminating the process of what's going on in there. You're bringing eyes and focus and attention to people that don't need it nor want it. That's why a lot of my spills don't go that route. That's why I don't speak on certain organizations or groups. I've shied away from it. In the beginning, I did have a few names in my mouth. I did speak on certain, I thought it was cool. Hey, the Vatos ain't tripping, right? No, they're tripping. Everybody's tripping. Stop speaking on people. When you're out the game, when you get out the mix, stop speaking on it. Period. Okay, you can speak on your stories, the past, the future, but don't speak on the here and now unless you're ready to reap the rewards that come with it. And believe me, you're not going to be pleasantly surprised. You don't want to see what's behind door number 1. Now, I tell that story and I say that not because I was threatened or warned or people got at me. It's because I was gamed up, homeboy. I was educated enough to understand that. And I thought today was the day to speak on it. You know, I thought today was the day. So because a lot of people get at me, Gunner, why don't you speak on this? And why don't you tell this story? And if I think that that story can hinder what I got going on out here, if I think that story, involves children or involves this and certain things, I'm just like, man, it just hurts my heart to talk about it like that. Then I won't. There's certain stories I will elaborate on and certain I won't. And dispensa, it doesn't mean I'm taking what you've asked me to do and just, I'm too good for all that. None of that. Oh, I would love more than to give you my perspective or give you my opinion on certain things that have happened lately in the game. But at the end of the day, it's not my business. Okay, it's not what I'm trying to be involved in. I'm trying to stay out the way and just have a good time with the raza, the gente. The voice for the people, by the people. I know I don't speak for everyone. There's people like, this clown don't speak for me. I'm not trying to speak for you. I'm speaking for the real ones. Bang, bang. Understand that. I'm not trying to be a leader. I'm trying to rock simultaneously side by side. Man, let's do this together as people. Let's bring people together. And I'm not speaking in the gang line. I'm not talking about north and south and barrio. That's their thing, homes. They'll figure that out on their own. I'm not part of that life. I'm talking about the raza, period. People out there on the calles, hardworking raza, the people that are waking up every morning drinking chanate, talking, hey, look out here, listen to gun, this crazy. So I go, damn, I gotta go to work. You want to keep me here stuck, right? That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, I wanted to tell you guys a story. People asked me just a while back, hey, Gunner, you said you were in a prison channel, but you tell prison stories. This is not a prison channel. But I just happen to have been in prison several times. So if a story I tell involves the pinta or the bang bang, then it does because I've been there. I'm going to tell you guys a story right now about the most vicious, violent pegada I was ever involved in. Okay, I've told stories about pegadas, but I never told you this one, Ese. So I was out of state doing time. Okay, and this individual gets on the compa, and let's just say he was from the other side. He wasn't seeing eye to eye with what I had going on, what my homeboys had going on. We weren't seeing eye to eye at that point in time with what his people had going on. But there was a few of his people on the compa. We had made it to where, okay, you guys still there? We still over here. Ready, set, hike. And that's it. Dan Marino. We'll throw from way over there. And everyone was doing their own thing, but everybody was very aware and the electricity was in the air. There had been a lot of, you see them out there? They're over there doing their thing and they're going to continue to do their thing. But if they try to do our thing, then we're going to do their thing. And that was just it. Watch everybody. So everybody's watching everybody. And it's a north-south issue, man. When it becomes that type of issue, the funk is on. Because one thing, quite contrary to what people believe and what people think is, oh, north and south all the time, it's on site and it's funk. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Pensa. It's not like that. It's not like that. There's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of respect there. You respect thy enemy. I said it a long time ago, man. When someone that you know is about that action, about that business, you better respect their gangster. Because if not, they're going to get gangster-fied on you. And then you're going to be from a hospital, but like, oh, I always respected them. Yeah, well, you didn't respect them enough. Es suspensa no tira. And that's just how it is. So this particular day, this cat comes on the compa, and we notice he's trying to rally the troops. He has an agenda. He's not trying to be there amongst the norteños, right? So I said, all right, trip out, okay. Look at the bot. I told my homeboys, watch this guy. This guy right here is trying to stir the pot. So it's up to us to stir it for him. Let's make that first move. Now, I've always been very aware. Again, gamed up. That's why this story coincides, because gamed up. You get gamed up in a lot of things. If you're giving the proper education and the proper clecha, they're not just going to tell you, hey, don't sag your pants and make sure you grow your brush out. You know what I mean? That's not what they're going to tell you. Darn, I said that's not what they're going to tell us. But also, what they're going to tell us in real life is what to do, what not to do, what to say, and what not to say, and what do I say about you? Don't say a damn thing about me. That's what they're going to give you. They're going to give you the proper education. You're going to read a lot about your historia. You're going to learn certain languages. You're going to do a lot of things that you need to do that are going to make you more successful as a convict. Spence, I know you're a gunner, successful convicts. How does that work out? It does. I just can't elaborate. But that's what the big homie should be doing. Any homeboy that you consider a big homeboy in your body or your hood or a family member that you respect, giving you the game. Now, I was gamed up enough to understand awareness was key. Watching everything and everyone. I need to know what everybody's doing. If that vato's eating a chili sopa, but he's been eating nothing but beef all week, why is he eating a chili sopa? I need to know. Right? I don't understand. His patterns switched up. See, there's patterns in prison. Certain vatos that you see when they come out of the building, they go straight to the dip bar. So they're doing their dip like that. You know, my chair's all chueco, right? I'm broke. But anyways, he's doing dips. And then you got another vatos other doing the push-ups and the pull-ups. Asaz, asaz, asaz. I already know what time it is. It's a rutina. It's a máquina. It's a constant grind. It's an everyday thing, what this guy does. There's another about this. He's walking the track eating an orange. Okay, I see him. If it's an apple mañana, it's going down, right? Any little switch up to a program leads me to believe there's tension. That's just the way I was taught. Now, this particular day, this guy gets out. He comes to the, he's on the compa. He's brand new. He's a brand Nubian. So we're watching him. If you don't know what brand Nubian is, refer to Gunner's Collective, chapter 1. Verse 4. So I'm looking at him. Okay, what is this guy doing? And he's rallying the troops. He's looking at us, mean mugging. He's looking back. So I said, okay, we're going to do a pegada. Now, you got to understand, this is a different type of state. Where I was at, vatos do what, it was like the Wild Wild West, There was barely any homeboys, so we had to stick together for power. La onda style. And a lot of the vatos weren't with the business, man. I'm going to be totally honest with you. A lot of vatos just were there just trying to do their pinche time, right? They weren't trying to get involved in nada. But I was there to rally the troops. Like, nah, homie. I mean, this is the way to strip out. Make sure there are no plaques on. We don't want no one telling. I need you to help me. We're going to have to help each other. So this is what we're going to do. Well, I don't get down like that. I don't want my culo. Nah, I don't want to bone you. I need you to help me to go get them. So look, this is how it was. I was like, look, we're going to do this, boom, boom, boom. And a lot of the homeboys were with it. Some were like, hey, man, I'll watch the door. I'll watch the guard tower. Okay, yeah, you do that. And as soon as we're done doing that, tomorrow we're going to be doing that. So, shh, don't tell no one. Something about the West Coast. So the plan was to catch this guy slipping, going into his cell. Now, he was celled up with the white guy. So immediately I knew the white guy he was celled up with was a righteous white guy. He was a wood, brother. This vato was a straight up wood. He liked to eat coffee. Have you ever seen the woods that eat coffee? Oh man, it's time to go to the yard. I ain't got time to make my coffee. They'll just take a scoop, eat it. They're chewing coffee on the way out the door, right? Straight to the push-ups with coffee all in their mouths, spitting coffee bubbles. I mean, it's the woods, they're die hard about theirs, right? Keefe, here I come, brother. Brother, you got taster's choice? That's all you hear, right? I'm going to pinch you on your butt. Let me tell you something. He was settled with the white guy who I actually had Willings and Dillings with and I knew was cool. So I got at him. I slid up in his earlobe one time. I was like, hey, Jody. Hey, Jody. I said, hey, bro, what's up? Man, your celly, where's he from? He said, oh, he's from the South. He's a South Sider. I said, is that right? We'll trip out. Is there any way that you could slow drag a little bit so I can get at him? He was like, bro, I don't really like people going in my cell and getting blood all over my stuff. I said, no, as soon as it's going to be good. Don't trip. I was going there, I'll throw a blanket over your stuff. He was like, man, so this guy was smart enough to put all his property and stuff under the bunk because he was on the bottom bunk. He already knew what time it was, right? So we slid up in there. We made our first move, our next move, our best move, because this guy was posing a threat. And lucky we did. Because upon getting off, and I mean, we're getting off, and I call it one of the most vicious and violent ones I did, but we didn't use weaponry. I'm not going to lie. We weren't trying to decapitate this guy or kill him or do nothing like that, period. We were trying to set a message and an example, and I think we pretty much set that example. And the example was, when it's peaceful times and everyone's kicking it, man, don't come stirring the pot because of your own agenda, because you're trying to be that cool guy. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Period. He got mollywopped, right? We put the mollywopper, sipping Cavalli vodka. You roll up on my block with a black and a Glock and I'll mollywopper, right? And that was it. I don't know what kind of gun that'd be like, right? But anyways, he got snatched up. And that was it. A couple of his homeboys came running down. It turned into a melee in the day room and it was on and cracking. Now, they were pretty much caught unaware. But again, like I said, there was always tension there. And I hated it had to come to that. Brown on brown, raza on raza, but it was just business, nothing personal, man. This guy seemed to be making it personal. Like I said, we had been on that compa chilling, doing our thing, man. He chose to make it personal. Now, I don't talk about North or South issues to stir the pot or divide the people. I'm just telling the story because there was plenty of times that got off on us and my earlobe was way over there, right? But what I'm saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't go stirring the pot. Don't go speaking on things or doing things that you shouldn't. That's where it leads me back to YouTube. When you're on here and you're talking about prison politics and you're talking about prison organizations and gangs and groups, man, that's on you if something happens at your doorstep. That's on you. Don't come crying to me, when something bad happens to you. I've been told plenty of times, Gun, you're a trophy. You're a trophy. I've been a trophy in a good way and a trophy in a bad way. Guess what? I've always been a trophy, bro, because I've always took the initiative to put myself on frontline status and handle my business. I know what to talk about and what not to talk about, but it's going to be what it is, and I'm going to let it lie where it lays. And that's just what it is. At the end of the day, I respect those who deserve the respect, and those that don't, verga. Straight up. No, I said verga. Not verg. Not vergas. I didn't do that. Anyways, with that being said, I just wanted to tell this little story. I hope that it sinks in one time in your mentality. And I'm not only speaking to the people out there who watch and get entertained, but also to the people who talk about prison politics and prison gangs and things. Be aware, homie. You're talking about other people's lives here. And that ain't a cool thing. With that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, we're going to struggle and strive for what we all truly believe in. And that's the coming together of people, man. Go out there and hustle for yours, because I'm going to do for mine. You already know what it is. If you hit me with a like and subscribe and a thumbs up and turn all notifications on, I'll be a happy man. If you decide that I'm a poop button, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, then you can also hit me with the thumbs down. But Heavy's going to be the head that wears this crown. I'm going to continue to struggle and strive for what I believe in. And that's the coming together of all people. North, south, east, west, green, yellow, pink. Well, I don't know about pink. It's different. You know what I mean? Bad gas. Weird. Bang, bang. Don't teleport to me.